Do you want to keep your goals and achieve your dreams? Then stop planning from where you are and start planning from where you're going. Today I'll show you how to trace the path your future self has already walked. Welcome back. I'm Linda, and I help you create planning systems that actually fit your life. This is part 2 of Keeping Goals, how to set and achieve what matters most. If you missed part 1, you can find it linked at the top right and in the description. In the last video, we created your future self mind map, that big, beautiful snapshot of the life that you're building for 10 years from now. You've met your future you. You've seen what matters to them. You've explored the habits, systems, environment, relationships, and accomplishments that define that version of your life. Today, we're going to take that vision and turn it into a pathway, not a rigid plan, just a set of stepping stones that will help you move from where you are now toward the life that you've imagined. There is a companion blog post and free worksheet for this video on the Sweet Ginger Designs website. And of course, there's a link for that in the description. One of the biggest challenges in goal planning is that we often start at the wrong end. We start with the question, what should I do this month? Or what should I focus on this year? We're looking around trying to identify our goals, and we're looking in our current life. And we're probably not thinking of any of those things that we've always planned to do someday. They're just not on our mind. But if you start with your future self, the life that you're intentionally building, the answers become clear. You're not guessing anymore. You are reverse engineering a life that already exists in your mind. So today we're going to walk backward from your 10-year vision and break it down into milestones, focus areas, and small doable actions. We start by looking at the future self mind map. Choose one outcome that feels meaningful, exciting, or foundational. But don't overthink it. Maybe choose something that requires time to build or something that creates benefits you want to experience sooner rather than later. It might be a career milestone, a financial goal, a lifestyle shift, or something deeply personal. For my first example, I'm going to choose a career outcome. In 10 years, my future self is a respected senior-level expert. I lead major initiatives, mentor others, and I'm known for deep expertise and strategic thinking. In contrast, my current self has a few years of experience and is given some autonomy as a team member. I have a proven track record of satisfactory or higher performance, and my supervisors view me as someone with potential to take on higher-level assignments. Next, we need to identify the 10-year milestones. Ask yourself what conditions must be true 10 years from now for this outcome to be real. What would need to have been accomplished to fully realize the outcome? Also note any resources or other support required to reach the milestone. For this example, I have recognized as a subject matter expert in my field, leading high-impact projects, hold advanced certifications or degrees or other specialized training. I have a strong professional network and reputation, and I've been promoted to a senior level position. I have added a space for resource requirements to many of my planning worksheets over the years. I believe that it's good to identify even 5 or 10 years out that these resources are going to be needed. So you'll continue to see that with every step today, but we will not be using this information until the next video. Now we take a step backward to the 5-year mark, and we ask ourselves, what progress would we have made leading toward our 10-year version of ourselves? This is where things can start to feel a little bit more tangible because you're halfway there. What skills, experiences, and accomplishments would you have acquired by the 5-year mark? What resources would be required for these milestones? For this example, I have been promoted to a mid-level position. I'm managing small teams or projects. I've completed key certifications or specialized training. I've presented at conferences or internal meetings. I've published articles, and I'm known for being reliable and a problem solver. Next, we take one more step back. Now we're going to think about the next 12 months. What can I realistically achieve in the next year that will move me toward the 5-year milestones? This is where your long-term vision becomes something that you can actually work on today. For this example, I have completed one major certification or skill upgrade. I took on a stretch assignment or project lead role. I built relationships with mentors or senior leaders, and I documented my accomplishments and updated my portfolio or resume. Now that we have identified the one-year milestones, we want to determine 4 broad focus areas, one for each quarter of the year. These aren't tasks, they're themes, and each of the one-year milestones should be covered by at least one of these focus areas. So for this example, I have skill development and certification prep for the first quarter. For the second quarter, I have take on visible projects. For the third quarter, I have build professional presence. And then performance review strategy and next level responsibilities in the fourth quarter. The next step is to translate each quarter of focus area into monthly actions so that all of the milestones will be achieved. Under each quarter, choose a specific action that you can complete in each month in that quarter. These are the steps that will create momentum. We want to keep them doable, realistic, and aligned to our vision. For this first example, I have enroll in certification course, complete training modules, apply new skills at work, request stretch assignment, volunteer to train a new hire, research new technology related to my field, join a professional association, conduct a small internal training session, develop a working relationship with a mentor, update resume with new skills, seek 360 feedback, celebrate wins, and plan the next 12 months. It is not necessary to execute the 12 months in the order written here, and you may have 6 actions for one focus area and 2 each for the other 3 based on your milestones, and that's okay. And obviously, each of these monthly actions are not equal in either the time or effort required. But imagine our pathway from our current self to our future self is made up of 120 stepping stones. We just identified the actions to take for the first 12 steps. In the next video, I will show you how to essentially establish a contract with yourself to complete these actions and establish the necessary habits to take these steps forward. So here's the entire reverse engineering map for the chosen outcome. We started with a 10-year vision. We walked with your future self back through time and paused to identify milestones along the way. Then we translated those milestones into focus areas and then actions. This is your pathway. This is how we move from intention into action. I also completed a couple of additional examples. I won't go through these line by line here, but they are included with the blog post if you want to see the details. The second outcome I chose to reverse engineer was also from the career domain. I chose my future self runs a thriving, profitable business with a steady revenue, a loyal customer base, and a sustainable work life. I'm also known for my unique value, and I have systems that keep the business running smoothly. I set an assumption that my current self has not even started to create this business. I think the challenge for completing these actions is that it is all new experiences, so new habits and new systems will need to be created, not only to complete the actions, but to sustain the progress. For the third example, I chose an outcome from the home and environment domain. My future self owns a home I love with financial stability, manageable payments, and a sense of security and pride. I started with an assumption that my current self would be a first-time home buyer and had little savings for a down payment. This is an outcome that is not terribly complex, but going through the reverse engineering steps can be beneficial due to identifying resources needed and setting interim goals. It helps us to be prepared and ready to take those steps in the future. The success for this outcome is heavily dependent on having good systems in place, not only in the financial area, but in other areas that interact with our financial system. In the last video, we created our future self mind map. Today, we generated a reverse engineering map for one of the significant outcomes we had identified. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about clarity. It's about alignment. It's about making decisions today that support the life you're building. You can get this free worksheet on the Sweet Ginger Designs website linked in the description for creating your own outcome reverse engineering maps. You will want to generate one for each of the outcomes in your future self vision. In order to achieve your entire vision, you'll be following parallel paths, all leading to your future life, but taking you along different milestones. You may have some outcomes that don't have intermediate milestones. These are usually things like improving your health or maintaining your fitness. These outcomes are usually habit or system oriented, and your goal is steady progress or maintaining the current status. When do you update or recreate your reverse engineering maps? If your vision changes and that results in the outcome changing, then you should revise your maps. But you can use them for multiple years. In the second year, you'd be looking at 9-year milestones and 4-year milestones, but then creating a new set of 1-year milestones, focus areas, and actions. As you get closer to the 5th year, you might want to recreate your reverse engineering map so that you can have interim milestones halfway between the coming year and the end year. In the next video, we will be exploring systems, the behind-the-scenes structure that makes your goals achievable and sustainable. We'll also discuss habits and tasks. Then we'll discuss how we set ourselves up to successfully execute our plan. So for now, take a breath, celebrate the clarity you've created, and keep your future self mind map and reverse engineering map somewhere where you can see them. Future you is already cheering you on. Thank you for watching this video. If you've not already done so, please subscribe so you'll not miss the next video in the series. I'd love to hear any questions you may have or suggestions for future topics. Just leave me a comment below. Until next time, keep planning in a way that fits your life.